Clutter doesn't just fill your home, it fills your mind, your heart, and even your health. I didn't realize this for years. To me, the stacks of magazines by the couch, the clothes that no longer fit tucked away in the closet, and the drawers filled with old birthday cards felt harmless. But one day, I sat down and noticed how heavy my space felt. It was like every item I wasn't using was whispering, "Remember me, deal with me, look at me." And instead of feeling comforted by the memories, I felt trapped. And here's the truth most of us discover too late. Clutter silently drains your energy. It makes you feel more tired, more anxious, and sometimes even sadder, without you realizing why. Studies have shown that living in a cluttered environment can raise your stress levels, increase cortisol in your body, and even affect your sleep. And for seniors like us, it can even become a safety risk. That's why in this video, I'm sharing with you 9 decluttering secrets that I wish I knew sooner. Secrets that not only helped me free up my home, but also freed my spirit, gave me peace of mind, and made everyday life so much lighter. And I promise you, if you skip even one of these, you may miss the key that could completely change the way you feel in your own home. But before we dive in, let me gently remind you, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do it now. Because here's the thing. So many older women like us need this kind of guidance, but they never get it because they don't subscribe and they miss out. Don't let that be you. Subscribe now so you don't miss the next life-changing piece of wisdom that could make your later years calmer, freer, and filled with joy. Now, let's begin with the first secret. And trust me, it's one that might surprise you. I remember the very first time I decided to declutter seriously. I stood in the middle of my living room, hands on my hips, and thought to myself, okay, today I'm going to clean this entire house from top to bottom. I had so much determination in that moment. But within 20 minutes, I felt exhausted, overwhelmed, and honestly a little defeated. I looked at the piles of papers, old knickknacks, and drawers filled with who knows, and I thought, where do I even begin? That's when I realized something important. Decluttering doesn't have to be a giant project. In fact, the people who are most successful at keeping their homes calm and clutter-free are not the ones who spend hours all at once. They're the ones who start small and stay consistent. There's actually research to back this up. Behavioral scientist B.J. Fogg from Stanford talks about the power of tiny habits. He found that when you make something so small and easy, it becomes repeatable. For me, that looked like starting with one drawer. Just one. I would set a timer for 10 minutes, sort through that drawer, and then stop. Felt doable. And the next day, I'd do another drawer. Before long, those little actions started adding up. My kitchen counters cleared. My closet felt lighter. And instead of being overwhelmed, I started to feel a sense of momentum, like I could actually win this battle with clutter. So my first secret is this. Start small and stay consistent. Don't try to do it all in one day. Pick a drawer, a shelf, or even just one small box. Commit to 10 minutes a day. And slowly, you'll see your home transform. And with it, your sense of peace. One of the hardest things for me to let go of were clothes. I had blouses I hadn't worn in years, shoes that pinched my feet but looked so pretty, and coats that just hung there season after season. I kept telling myself, maybe I'll wear it again someday. But deep down I knew. Someday never came. That's when I learned the 1-year rule. It's simple. If you haven't used it, worn it, or even thought about it in the past year, it's time to let it go. I remember pulling out a pair of heels I hadn't worn in at least 5 years. My feet can't even handle heels anymore. Yet I kept them because they reminded me of a younger version of myself. But here's the truth. Those shoes were just collecting dust. They weren't adding to my life. They were holding me back. And I'm not alone. Studies on clutter show that keeping unused items can actually increase feelings of guilt and stress. Every time you see that dress you don't wear, it whispers, "Why are you keeping me?" That's emotional weight we don't need. So I started asking myself this. Did I use this in the last year? Does it bring me joy or serve me right now? If the answer was no, I thanked the item for the role it once played in my life, and let it go. The freedom that comes with this is incredible. My closet is no longer overflowing, and getting dressed feels simple, not overwhelming. So, the second secret is this. If you haven't used it in a year, you probably don't need it anymore. Let it go and make space for the things that truly support your life today. If I'm being honest, sentimental items were the hardest for me. I could get rid of old shoes and pans with no problem, but when it came to things like birthday cards for my children, or the quilt my grandmother gave me decades ago, I froze. Each item carried a memory, and letting go felt almost like losing the memory itself. One afternoon, I found myself sitting on the floor surrounded by boxes of old letters and photos. I wanted to keep every single one, but deep down I knew I didn't need to. That's when I discovered a simple but powerful truth. The memory is not in the object. The memory is in us. Psychologists even confirm this. Research shows that we attach emotions to objects because they act as triggers for our memories. But here's the beautiful part. You don't need the object to keep the memory alive. You can keep the memory in your heart, in your stories, or even in photographs. So I started a new practice. Instead of holding on to every card or souvenir, I began taking pictures of them. I created a digital memory album where I could revisit them anytime. For special items, I kept just one or two that truly sparked joy, not the whole pile. I also learned to repurpose. For example, my grandmother's quilt was falling apart. Instead of keeping it stored in a box, I had a piece of it framed. Now it hangs on my wall where I can see it every day. One piece brought me far more joy than keeping the whole thing tucked away unseen. So the third secret is this. Declutter sentimental items without guilt. Keep what truly warms your heart, digitize what you want to remember, and let go of the rest. You'll be surprised by how much lighter you feel, and you'll still carry the love and the memory, without the weight of all the stuff. One morning, I was walking through my hallway and nearly tripped over a stack of magazines I had left near the door. My heart skipped a beat. I caught myself just in time, but it scared me. That's when it hit me. Clutter isn't just annoying, it can be dangerous. For older adults, especially seniors, the risk of falling is very real. And research confirms it. Cluttered spaces increase the chances of falls, accidents, and injuries. Something as simple as a pile of newspapers or shoes left in the wrong place can be a hazard. I started looking around my home differently after that. Were there boxes stacked where I walk every day? Were rugs slipping under my feet? Were my walkways narrow because of furniture or stored items? The answer was yes, and I knew it was time to act. Began with the floor. Anything that I could trip over had to go. Old boxes were recycled. Shoes were placed neatly in a rack by the door. Magazines were either read and passed on or tossed. Then I focused on the bedroom, clearing pathways so I could get to my bed without stepping around piles. And the change wasn't just physical. Once the space opened up, I felt calmer, freer. It was easier to breathe knowing my home was safer. Studies even show that clutter increases dust, mold, and allergens, which can irritate our lungs and affect overall health. So it's not just about falling, it's about protecting your body inside and out. So the fourth secret is this. Declutter for your health and safety first. Clear floors, remove tripping hazards, and open up your space. A clutter-free home isn't just prettier, it's a safer, healthier place to live. One thing I used to do without thinking was bring new things into the house. Clothes, kitchen gadgets, little decorations, without ever letting go of the old ones. Over time I realized I was adding, but never subtracting. No wonder my home felt so full. That's when I learned the secret of the one in, one out rule. It's very simple. Every time you bring something new into your home, you let go of something else. I remember the day I bought a new sweater I absolutely loved. Instead of stuffing it into my already crowded closet, I stopped and asked myself, okay, which sweater no longer serves me? I found one I hadn't worn in 2 years, and I donated it. Suddenly, instead of adding to the clutter, I was keeping balance. Science actually backs this up. Psychologists talk about decision fatigue. The more options we have, the more drained we feel. A closet with too many clothes can leave you standing there frustrated, thinking, I have nothing to wear. By practicing one in, one out, I not only reduced clutter, but also simplified my choices. Getting dressed became easier, not harder. This rule works everywhere. Clothes, dishes, books, even digital items. Buy a new mug. Donate an old one. Download a new app. Delete one you never use. Keeps clutter from sneaking back in. So the fifth secret is this. Whenever something comes in, let something else go. It's a gentle habit that creates balance, prevents overwhelm, and helps your home stay light and joyful. When I first started decluttering, I made the mistake of bouncing around. I'd open a drawer in the kitchen, then wander into the bedroom closet, then suddenly find myself flipping through old photo albums in the living room. By the end of the day, everything was half done, and I felt more overwhelmed than when I started. That's when I discovered the power of creating declutter zones. Instead of tackling the entire house at once, you divide your home into clear sections. The kitchen, the bedroom, the bathroom, the garage. And here's the secret. You stay in one zone until it's finished. I remember deciding to start with the kitchen. I focused only on that space for a week. One cabinet each day, one drawer each morning, slowly but surely. By the end of the week, I could walk into my kitchen and feel peace. The counters were clear, the cabinets made sense, and it gave me energy to move on to the next zone. Science supports this approach too. Research on cognitive overload shows that when we spread our attention too thin, our brains struggle to stay motivated. But when we give ourselves a clear, achievable goal like finish the bedroom zone, our brains release dopamine, the chemical of reward and motivation. That's why completing one zone feels so good. It's not just progress, it's momentum. So the sixth secret is this. Break your home into declutter zones and focus on one at a time. Finish that zone, celebrate your progress, and then move on. Before you know it, your whole home will feel lighter, and you'll never feel lost in the process again. I'll admit, for years I had bags of clothes and boxes of items sitting in my garage, labeled donations. I would pat myself on the back for cleaning them out of the house, but months later they were still sitting there, just relocated clutter. Every time I walked past them I felt a little guilty. That's when I realized something. Keeping bags of donations in the garage is not decluttering. It's just moving the clutter from one place to another. The real magic happens when those items leave your home and go into the hands of someone who truly needs them. I remember the day I finally dropped off several bags at a local women's shelter. The woman at the desk smiled and said, "These will mean so much to the ladies here." In that moment, my old clothes became more than just fabric. They became comfort, warmth, and dignity for someone else. That joy outweighed any sadness I felt about letting them go. And science agrees. Studies on altruism show that giving to others actually boosts our own happiness and lowers stress. When we donate, our brains release oxytocin, the feel-good hormone that builds connection and satisfaction. So donating isn't just about clearing your home, it's about lifting your spirit too. So the seventh secret is this. Donate, don't store. Don't let your garage or basement become a holding area for clutter. Set a deadline. Once the donation bag is full, it leaves the house that week. You'll bless someone else, and you'll finally experience the freedom of true decluttering. For the longest time I thought clutter was only about the physical stuff. Clothes, dishes, papers. But one day, I opened my email and saw over 5,000 unread messages staring at me. My heart sank. Suddenly I realized, digital clutter can weigh us down just as much as a messy room. Think about it. Our phones, tablets, and computers are filled with files, photos, apps, and notifications we don't need. Every ding, every alert, every crowded screen adds stress to our lives. Studies actually show that constant notifications raise our cortisol levels, the very same stress hormone that cluttered rooms create. No wonder so many of us feel mentally exhausted. I started small, just like with my home. One day I deleted old apps I never used. The next I cleared out my email inbox. I also began organizing photos into albums so I could actually enjoy them, instead of scrolling endlessly. Slowly my devices started to feel lighter, and so did my mind. One of the most helpful habits I formed was unsubscribing from newsletters I never read. It was amazing how much quieter my inbox became. That silence gave me more peace than I expected. So the eighth secret is this. declutter digitally. Set aside time each week to clear out your phone, your computer, and your email. Just like your home, your digital world deserves to be clean, calm, and manageable. The less digital noise you carry, the more mental space you'll have for what truly matters. One day, I was helping a friend sort through her late mother's belongings. Room after room was filled with boxes, clothes, papers, and knickknacks collected over decades. What should have been a time of remembering and honoring her mother's life became an overwhelming, exhausting burden. My friend sighed and said, "I just wish she had let some of this go while she was still here." That moment stayed with me. It made me realize that decluttering isn't just about today. It's about tomorrow. It's about making life easier for ourselves as we age, and kinder for our loved ones when they someday walk through our homes. I began thinking of decluttering as a gift to my future self. I asked myself, when I'm older and maybe less mobile, will I thank myself for keeping this? If the answer was no, I let it go. Every item I released was like removing a little future burden from my shoulders. Research supports this mindset too. Experts in aging studies say that simplifying our living spaces reduces stress, prevents accidents, and helps us remain independent longer. And emotionally, it gives our loved ones peace. They won't be left sorting through years of clutter when we're gone. So the ninth secret is this: declutter as a gift to your future self. Think of it as writing a love letter to tomorrow. Every drawer you clear, every box you donate, every paper you recycle, it's one less weight on your future shoulders. You're not just creating space. You're creating freedom, peace, and a legacy of love. As we've shared together today, decluttering isn't just about cleaning our homes. It's about reclaiming our peace, our health, and even our joy. From starting small and staying consistent, to following the one-year rule, to letting go of sentimental items without guilt. Each secret is a gentle reminder that our homes are more than storage spaces. They're reflections of how we live, how we love, and how we care for ourselves. I want you to pause and think, what would your life feel like if every corner of your home breathed calm instead of chaos? Imagine opening your closet and feeling lightness instead of stress, walking through your hallway without fear of tripping, sitting in your living room surrounded only by things that truly matter to you. That's the gift decluttering offers. And remember, it's not about perfection. It's about progress. Even one drawer, one shelf, one bag of donations can spark a ripple of peace through your entire home. Your future self will thank you, and so will your loved ones. If this video has touched your heart, I want to gently remind you, don't leave without subscribing. I put my heart into creating these videos because I believe you deserve a life that feels lighter, safer, and more joyful. If you leave without subscribing, you might miss the very tip or story that could change everything for you. So go ahead, click that button. Join me, and let's keep walking this journey together. And before you go, tell me in the comments, which secret are you going to try first? Maybe it's starting small, maybe it's donating instead of storing, or maybe it's digital decluttering. Your answer might just inspire another senior woman watching this right now to take her first step. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Here's to less clutter, more peace, and a home that truly feels like a sanctuary.